Praised be thou, O my God, that thou hast ordained Naw Ruz as a festival unto those who have observed the fast for love of thee, and abstain from all that is abhorrent unto thee. Grant, O my Lord, that the fire of thy love and the heat produced by the fast enjoined by thee may inflame them in thy cause, and make them to be occupied with thy praise and with remembrance of thee.
Since thou hast adorned them, O my Lord, with the ornament of the fast prescribed by thee, do thou adorn them also with the ornament of thine acceptance, through thy grace and bountiful favor. For the doings of men are all dependent upon thy good pleasure, and are conditioned by thy behest.
To laugh through all the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gonna celebrate your party with you. Come on. Celebration. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Celebration. We're gonna celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on! Yeah. It's your celebration.
Welcome everyone, happy Naw Ruz. Did you know that today is the world's oldest holiday? This year, March 20th, marks the vernal equinox of the Earth's northern hemisphere and the autumnal equinox in the south. That day when the sun's light strikes the equator directly and illuminates every continent equally. You would think that the world's people would celebrate this day, and it turns out they do, called Naw Ruz.
Just as the solar cycle has its 4 seasons, the cycle of the sun of reality has its distinct and successive periods. Each brings its vernal seasons of springtime. When the sun of reality returns to quicken the world of mankind, a divine bounty descends from the heaven of generosity.
In 2021, 178 years after the beginnings of the Baha'i faith, Baha'is all over the world will celebrate Naw Ruz as the annual celebratory feast of renewal, spiritual and physical springtime. As the flowers bloom and the bushes bud out and birds trill in the trees, the Baha'is will smile and laugh and hug each other warmly. But for the Baha'is, Naw Ruz isn't just a party. It serves as a symbolic reminder of the oneness of the messengers of God and the spiritual springtime that each brought to humanity.
The realm of thoughts and ideals is set in motion, and blessed with new life, minds are developed, hopes brightened, aspirations become spiritual, the virtues of the human world appear with freshened power of growth, and the image of likeness of God becomes visible in man. It is in the springtime of the inner world.
All the virtues which have been deposited and potential in human hearts are being revealed from that reality as flowers and blossoms from a divine garden. It is a day of joy, a time of happiness, a period of spiritual growth. I beg of God that this divine spiritual civilization may have the fullest impression and effect upon you. And may you become as growing plants. May the trees of your hearts bring forth new leaves and variegated blossoms. May ideal fruits appear from them in order that the world of humanity, which has grown and developed in material civilization, may be quickened in the bringing forth of spiritual ideals.
The former springtime has returned. The world is resuscitated, illumined, and attains spirituality. Religion is renewed and recognized. Hearts are turned to God. The summons of God is heard, and life is again bestowed upon man.
إلها معبودا تو را ذکر می نمایم و به حبل عنایتت متمسک و به ذیل رحمتت متشبثم. از تو آمرزش قدیمت را می طلبم و فضل عمیمت را می جویم.
On the first day of Naw Ruz in 1909, which he celebrated after his release from confinement, Abdu'l-Baha had the marble sarcophagus transported with great labor to the vault prepared for it. And in the evening, by the light of a single lamp, he laid within it with his own hands, in the presence of believers from the east and from the west, and in circumstances at once solemn and moving, the wooden casket containing the sacred remains of the Bab and his companion. When all were finished and the earthly remains of the martyr prophet of Shiraz were at long last safely deposited for their everlasting rest in the bosom of God's holy mountain, Abdu'l-Baha, who had cast aside his turban, removed his shoes and thrown off his cloak, bent low over the still open sarcophagus, his silver hair waving about his head and his face transfigured and luminous, rested his forehead on the border of the wooden casket, and sobbing aloud wept with such a weeping that all those who were present wept with him. That night he could not sleep, so overwhelmed was he with emotion. The most joyous tidings is this, he later wrote in a tablet announcing to his followers the news of this glorious victory, that the holy, the luminous body of the Bab, after having for 60 years been transferred from place to place by reason of the ascendancy of the enemy and from fear of the malevolent, and having known neither rest nor tranquility, has, through the mercy of the Abha beauty, been ceremoniously deposited on the day of Naw Ruz within the sacred casket in the exalted shrine on Mount Carmel. By a strange coincidence, on that same day of Naw Ruz, a cablegram was received from Chicago announcing that the believers in each of the American centers had elected a delegate and sent to that city, and definitely decided on the site and construction of the Mashal Asgard. And this is from God Passes By.
هل من مفرج غير الله
Is there any remover
قل سبحان الله
difficulties.
هو الله
save God?
كل عباد له
Say praise be God.
وكل
He is God.
بأمره قائم
All are his servants, and all abide by his bidding.
هل من مفرج غير الله قل سبحان الله
Save God.
هو الله
Say praise be God.
كل عباد له
He is God.
وكل
All are his servants,
بأمره
and all abide by his bidding. Shouldst thou regard him who hath broken the fast as one who hath observed it, such a man would be reckoned among them who from eternity had been keeping the fast. And shouldst thou decree that he who hath observed the fast hath broken it, that person would be numbered with such as have caused the robe of thy revelation to be stained with dust, and been far removed from the crystal waters of this living fountain.
Thou art he through whom the ensign, praiseworthy art thou in thy works, hath been lifted up, and the standard, obeyed art thou in thy behest, hath been unfurled. Make known this thy station, O my God, unto thy servants, that they may be made aware that the excellence of all things is dependent upon thy bidding and thy word, and the virtue of every act is conditioned by thy leave and the good pleasure of thy will, and may recognize that the reins of men's doings are within the grasp of thine acceptance and thy commandment.
To last throughout the years.
So bring your good times and your laughter too.
We gon' celebrate your party with you. Come on now.
What a wonderful world. Whoa.
I see skies blue, clouds white, bright blessed days and the dark secret night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful
Happy Naw Ruz, everyone. I hope this Naw Ruz brings you all the health and happiness you deserve and fulfills all your desires and needs.